Hi guys, it's West Coast Arachnids. Just doing an update on my mealworm farm. I've gone and cleaned it all out. What you see is the cleaned out version. I don't know if you can see them there. There's absolutely millions of these things, well, thousands, tens of thousands probably in here. Let's see if we can get you a better look at them. But it's just crawling. The whole thing is just crawling. So that's one. And this one here is full of bigger ones, as you can see. And the white one you saw there is just molted. That'll quickly turn to brown like the others. So there's no beetles. I took all the beetles out, and I've taken all the hardened up potatoes or carrots or whatever was in here, used to feed them. So it's cleaned out. A few little, feed them apples as well, and a few little apple seeds in there, but just kind of pick them out as I see them. They're not going to do any harm to them. But what I'm going to do is, these are all now going to be either fed off or used as brood stock for beetles. So what I'm doing now is I'm pouring the last one that you just saw into this one. So we're making one big thing of just straight mealworms, and you can see they're just crawling everywhere. It's just flattening out like a pancake. Yeah, better view, top view. Just poured it straight in there, and it's literally just crawling. I don't know how I'm going to keep up with this. There's no way I can feed all these to my teas, so I'll see if the pet store will take some off my hands, or find somebody that wants some in the area. No, sorry guys, I won't be shipping these anywhere. Need a permit for that, and I don't have one yet. Anyway, so that's that. Now these are just going to be grown out, and as the beetles come out, they're going to be plucked out of here and put into a new one, which is simply going to be this one. This is the one I just poured in there. So with that one, so that light's in the way, I've got a bunch of bran meal, and I just use bran meal. I don't use oatmeal. I just use wheat bran. Just this. It's just 100% wheat bran. Any brand will do, it doesn't matter what it is. As long as it's wheat bran, no name brand will work fine. You can actually mix them, put oatmeal and wheat bran in. So I'm just going to quite liberally shake some in there. Now that's one pack. They're about $1 a pack. Maybe $2 for the more expensive ones. So that's all I'm putting in there. That's it. Don't need any more than that. Actually, more than that could cause them to heat up and die as they shed their skin. Their skins sit on the top of the top layer, and they'll keep the heat down inside, and it'll actually fry them. Well, they'll cook themselves. But now into that, we're going to pour another mixture, and that's the beetles. That's what I pulled out of there. Out of both of those were down there, and that one just got the mealworms, and this is the beetles that were left over. Now that's thick. don't know if you can hear that. I can hear it quite well. Get down here. Anyway, you can see there's just thousands. I started out with 22 beetles, and I have so many. This was about 4 or 5 months ago. Well, no, actually, no, it was about Christmas time. So almost 8 months, I guess. And I have so many that I don't know what to do with. Literally tens of thousands, if not 100,000 mealworms sitting in there, plus another 500 or so beetles. Anyway, and to do what you do, you just dump them in, let them go. My kids home. And I'm just gonna stick some potatoes in there. So that's about one potato. I don't know. And that's that. And they'll lay eggs in there. And there'll be, out of those, hundreds of thousands of beetles or mealworms. Now, when I put these in here, within probably 10 minutes these will be buried. The mealworms will actually come up to the surface and just completely bury them. Actually putting more in there than I did with the beetles. So that's it. That's all you got to do for a mealworm farm. The potatoes and stuff are just for moisture. They eat the wheat bran. And you can see how much they want to, how much they like the potatoes. They just glom to it. It's just moisture. They're sucking the moisture out of it. Alright. There's that update. And while I'm doing that, I might as well do this. I also cleaned out my superworm farm. Now this is slow going because most of my beetles have died off. There's a total of 4. They don't like the light, so leave a toilet paper roll in there or some egg crate. Same thing, just wheat bran and, you know, a couple of potatoes or slices of apple or carrots or whatever you have on hand. Even cucumber. I wouldn't use anything like tomatoes or oranges. You could probably use oranges, but I don't use them. I don't like to add the acidity into there. Now these are about 3 months going. So far, they're not doing too bad. You can see there's one worm crawling around in the spoon. That's a superworm. Very tiny, as you can see. And they're all like that. They're all tiny. And they literally suck onto the bottom of these pieces of potato. Nobody can see that crawling on there. There's probably oh, I don't know, a few hundred in here, maybe more. Not crawling as much as the mealworms, but they are in there. You can see them moving. Let's get that out of the way. I don't know how well you can see that. Let's get it down here. I don't know how much better you'll see with me shaking the camera, but just disturb it a little bit and you can see them moving. Anyway, that's that. Superworms will be ready to go, and they take a lot longer than the mealworms. I've been steadily feeding off my mealworms. Probably thousands of them have been fed off by now. But it's going to be another good 3 months before these superworms are growing out and I actually get another set of beetles out of them, maybe 3 to 6 months. And then after that, by this time next year, I'll have hundreds of thousands of them. Anyway, with the superworms, you need to separate the worms into single containers by themselves. You know, just put them in something like this, just one in here, and leave it. When it goes to pupate, once it's reached its final stage as a worm, probably 2 inches, you know, you throw it into one of those containers and put a tiny piece of carrot in there about the size of your, you know, fingernail, and that'll add moisture for it. You don't want to add any oats or any wheat bran into there because they'll just continue to feed and try and grow. So if you just add moisture in there for it, it'll suck up as much moisture as it can because it needs that to pupate. Without that, it'll die before it pupates. But if it makes it to pupa stage, then you're golden. Should have no problem getting it to, some of these beetles are dead. Should have no problem getting it to get to beetle form. And then just do what you do with the mealworms. After that, just throw them all into a bin. Put in some wheat bran and some moisture, and let them lay eggs. And they'll sit and lay eggs in there. And in a few months, you'll have baby superworms. I find they're a little more difficult. Some people find mealworms harder to breed, but I just throw them into a thing like this and leave them alone. Throw some moisture in there, you know, every few days, and they seem to just propagate like crazy. So I never had any problem. But the superworms, they were a little tough to get off the ground. A little harder to keep in the containers. You probably want to get something with a little bit of height on the walls. I don't put a lid on these at all, because if you do, all the moisture, the potatoes will just mold up like crazy. It'll kill the whole farm, and you can't really feed that to your tarantulas or anything else. Once they go moldy, they get all kinds of cleaner mites in there, and then you don't want that. So leave the tops off. The superworm beetles will fly, so if you can get a mesh screen to put over it, that would be perfect, and then you don't have to worry about them flying off. And they usually don't go far, and you know, if you got them in a room that doesn't have open windows and stuff, you won't have to worry about it too much, I guess, and they'll just be crawling around the room they're in. But if you don't want them getting out, definitely put some kind of screen over top. Anyway, that's it. Y'all take care, have a great day, and bye for now.